going to start in any particular order, but one of my favorite little groups of plants are Dracaenas, and this here is a Dracaena Janet Craig. The stem here actually used to have leaves all the way down to pot level, and I just pulled them out the other day because I realized that you can also grow these in what some people call the cane form. So what I kind of do with these, and my rule of thumb based on really great sources, like I watch the Swedish Plant Guys, if you've ever heard of them, but kind of keep about a third of the leaves up, so it's got plenty of room to photosynthesize. And this guy just kind of lives on my floor and seems to be pretty happy right here. Gets a little bit of west-facing sun here, like this, kind of towards the end of the day. So that's this little dude, the Dracaena Janet Craig. Okay, the next few are also Dracaenas. This is, we believe, a Dracaena Lisa. And my girlfriend's grandma had this for a long time, I think over 10 years. And seems to be doing okay here. I was scared to get this plant because I didn't want to kill it, but seems pretty happy. It's staked up, kind of leaning over, and I might do a cutting at some point and see if I can propagate it, but seems pretty happy and well adjusted. So that is another Dracaena. But wait, there are more Dracaenas all over the place. It's not the only kind of plant I have, but pretty close too. So here is the Dracaena Lisa. Alright, so the dragon tree is what these two guys are. Now, story time. These two, along with a third one, which I'll show in a moment, actually were braided when I bought them, and I really didn't like that they were braided together, and so I bought them braided, and I felt really sad, so I unbraided them, and they haven't quite been extraordinarily happy since. But what I did is, on this left-hand guy, I'm going to move these leaves aside for just a moment. I actually did, here, let's see if we can even get the camera a little closer. I cut these back, so these also have leaves. I tried rooting them to propagate new dragon trees. One of them died, one of them I'll show off in a bit. Other than that, the leaves are just kind of borderline floppy. They're a bit sad. Especially like these back ones too. It's very floppy and weird. These ones seem to have firmed up okay, and I think it's just because there are maybe more of them, so there's enough. But yeah, so here are a couple of my dragon trees, and I'll show you more. As promised, here is the third little dude that was in that braided set. Doing a little better, but not by much. Another name for these is Dracaena marginata, because there are red kind of striping variegations all on the leaf. I'm hoping if I just kind of let these guys do their thing for a while, maybe they'll kind of perk up and grow. If not, I guess it was worth an attempt to unbraid them, but good to know in the future that I won't have that. So here's something I wanted to talk about because I'm trying something new. So you can see the top of this stem here has been cut, so my plant probably will not grow taller than it is right here because it's been cut. And these two offshoots of this cut are what are kind of growing these branches up the tree. Now, I wanted a Dracaena, like a mother tree, like a big tree that's not cut and it can get really big. And so the other day I went to a plant store and I got this big old bunch of boys right here. Now, I'm not going to be able to really get very close in because there's so many leaves. But they are not cut. This is one trunk, and the leaves are all coming from the top. There are actually 3 different plants inside here. And these are all going to grow up to be big mother trees, hopefully someday. And I really like the tree-like look of Dracaenas. So in a long time, these guys are going to be big Dracaena marginatas, probably all requiring their own pots and kind of making that tree jungle aesthetic, which I really like. So that is the Dracaenas that I have, and I have one more Dracaena to show you. So this is the last few of the braided ones, and these guys, these big guys, are Dracaena marginata. I have one more Dracaena to show you, and then we'll move on to some other plants. So I do have to apologize for the horrendous focus right now, but little guy right here in the 6-inch pot is a Dracaena Lemon Lime. The leaves are a very iridescent bright green. I don't know how well the camera is doing that justice right now because the sun is just pouring right in here, but this is the last Dracaena, at least in the traditional sense that I have. But yeah, really cool. I'm also kind of doing the whole cane form thing, so as the leaves are getting older, I'm taking them off so it has a big trunk. I like these guys, so that's a Dracaena Lemon Lime. So I have a decent variety of snake plants as well. This is a leaf cutting of a Sansevieria or Dracaena now Laurenti. Those are the ones with the yellow variegated edges. And so this is just one leaf cutting in about a 4-inch pot. I just watered it, and I'm hoping maybe in a while we'll kind of start getting some new ones that kind of push up from the bottom. That also kind of leads me to my second variant of this guy, which is this dude right here. He's the big version of that. So there's 3 leaves here and then the one separate from that, and they're all happy. So I like snake plants, they're neat. So this next little guy here is an aloe, and he's been a work in progress, kind of a recovery story of sorts. He was found outside in the middle of winter in a shoebox, and I can maybe put up a picture of his before, but he's doing really well, and he seems to be very happy in the windowsill. So hoping maybe soon we'll have some pups that come out and we can call it a successful recovery story. Here's another little dude. He is an unknown columnar cactus of some kind. I got him when I went to a conservancy thing in Milwaukee called the Domes, and they had this guy, so I picked him up, and he's just here doing his thing. I don't know, not much to say. He's grown a little bit since I've gotten him, but not much. He's a cool little dude. If Fuzzy Wuzzy was a plant, Fuzzy Wuzzy would be this plant. This is a chocolate soldier, and they're kind of furry. They just kind of bebop in here and do their thing. I don't know. I'm hoping maybe eventually they'll be able to propagate. I've tried a couple leaf cuttings and they've all died, so I just kind of let them do their thing, and they seem happy enough, so I'll take it. That's the chocolate soldier. I don't remember exactly which family they belong to, but they're pretty cool. This guy I have named Billy, so meet Billy. He's we think a bishop's cap cactus, but some of the research I've done online tells me that they don't have thorns. Billy has thorns. He can be a bit aggressive. I just repotted him into this pot, and he gave me a run for my money. So, but he's cool. I like him. Got him for my girlfriend. He's a cool little dude. So that's Billy. Couple things to show you on this table. On the left-hand side, in the white pot here, is a snake plant, just a kind of a regular average Joe. What is the Trifasciata? I think is the. Now they're Dracaenas, which is weird to me because I think of them as Sansevieria, but whatever. So there's that guy. He's just kind of a regular old snake plant. I like him. I like that pot I got a year or two ago. Kind of white and blue and green and stuff. He's cool. Next to that little dude is this starfish. They kind of look like aliens. Here, we're gonna move this box of cereal, but actually funny. They're Field of Dreams cornflakes. But yeah, so this is a starfish Sansevieria. He's actually got a pup way in the back, but he's doing pretty good, I think. And finally on my desk here, my little nightstand, is not that guy. Where is he? Here he is. So this is a dragon tree that I have cut, and I am currently rooting in water in an old alcohol bottle. I've found that this is the only way that I can propagate a lot of plants, is putting them on the top of the bottle like this and putting the roots in the water, or hoping it develops roots in the water rather. So we'll see if I get a new dragon tree out of this. I don't know. Maybe it'll grow, maybe it won't. Here's a fun little dude. This is a ponytail palm, which is actually not even a palm. But I think they're kind of wild. So there's a huge, like, potato-sized, growth down at the bottom of the plant, and it's sort of like a trunk, and it stores all the water. that this plant needs. And then these big tuft of leaves that I guess if you tied them together could be a ponytail, kind of grow out of the top of it. And it's kind of wild and, I don't know, like alien looking or something, but it's really neat. And this guy, for the longest time, like wasn't growing, wasn't doing anything, and I was kind of scared I wasn't, you know, caring for it correctly. But it seems to have really taken hold in this pot. I almost can't move it, you know, wiggle it around anymore, so it's rooting pretty well. And it seems like the leaves are still very happy. And he just kind of lives right behind where I put my computer on my desk and occasionally pokes me in the eyeball. So that's kind of neat. But yeah, that's a ponytail palm. So I know that's a lot of plants to put in a studio apartment, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I take care of them from a non-visual perspective. So some of the stuff might seem obvious, like checking the soil for moisture. I just use my fingers. But a lot of it is like feeling the plants, right? Like if the leaves are feeling limp or like droopy or, you know, frail, that's an indicator to me that something's up. You know, if I really have to dig up a plant and check the roots, I can do that by sense of touch as well. Pruning is just a matter of finding a place on a plant that I want to cut and kind of feeling around the plant, making sure it's all healthy and okay, and cutting it with some shears. A lot of plant care, if you have the kind of plants that, you know, I have or that you know you can take care of, doesn't have to be inherently visual. That's not to say that plant care is an inherently visual process or not, but at least for me, because I've gotten to know these guys, I've done pretty okay. And if you have any specific questions about how I take care of any of these guys or anything like that, feel free to throw them in the comments, and I'll do the best I can to answer them. But I like plant care. It's kind of a chilled out hobby, but it's fun. It's something that kind of is passive, especially with the kind of plants that I like, which is the cacti and the succulents. You know, you kind of do what you're gonna do, maybe do some pruning or repot them or rehome them a little bit, move them around, and then you kind of let them do their thing, and they're pretty happy to do that. So that's a little bit about plant care. It's fun. I enjoy it a lot, and honestly, even if you don't want to go as crazy as I have over the last year, I definitely recommend picking it up as a hobby because it's a lot of fun. I didn't think I would have this many a year ago when I started, but the nice thing about living in a studio apartment is I have to limit myself a little bit in terms of how many plants that I can take care of at any one time, but yeah. You know what, to close off the video here, I have a bonus plant, because I forgot about this little dude. This is a bird's nest sansevieria, or snake plant. I like this little dude. He's kind of fun, and kind of chills on the desk. I do like the turquoise pots. The camera is not focusing as well on the color as I guess I would like, but I like the aesthetic of the turquoise with the green of the plant, so it's kind of neat. But well, thank you guys for checking this out. If you have any questions, like I said, about how I take care of any of these plants from a non-visual perspective, or anything at all, let me know, and I'll do what I can to help you out. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.